no publications means zero chance of getting accepted.
False. You can have no publications and still get accepted to an excellent school. If you have not done research, then you have essentially no chance of getting into a top school. I don't think you would want to go to grad school for a PhD in a research discipline if you didn't have research experience. How do we know that you had research experience? The number one way is publications, but also posters and outputs like archive papers, bioarchive papers, chemchive papers, undergraduate research symposia, and so on. It can also come through the letters of recommendation. There might be a publication that's in press, and maybe there's an opportunity to drop that in, or a senior thesis, or a coursework assignment where you got to write about your research experience, something like that.
So if a student has 5 papers, another student has 1 paper, I'm not saying where exactly they're published, I'm not saying what's inside, just the numbers. What does it mean to a committee? How does a committee look at those publications? Because obviously there are a lot of students who have no papers whatsoever, but they're excellent. They could be absolutely amazing PhD students.
It is very difficult to get into a top 50 PhD program in the sciences and engineering without a paper as an undergraduate. If you don't have a paper, you have to have some other documented research experience. That could be a poster at a conference. At the very least, it has to be a poster at an internal conference, like an undergraduate research symposium. It could be an archive paper. If you're in some fields like computer science, it could be something that you did that is available online. Maybe it's an online course or something that you made on YouTube. Maybe it's something like a simulation that you could find or that you could link to. But there has to be some documented portfolio. It would be like applying to a master's degree on flute performance without having any recitals. There has to be something. So if you're talking, I'll answer the question specifically about 5 papers versus 1 paper. It doesn't matter where, it matters a little bit where it's published, but I think the leadership that is shown by the researcher on the paper is more important than the number. If it's a bunch of papers that you published, I had a graduate student who was an undergraduate in a lab that published 50 papers a year. And there was a technique that this student became an expert in, that every graduate student and postdoc needed this kid to do the work. And so he did this measurement or whatever, and he got 8 papers from his undergraduate research. But he only did one thing on those papers. But if he had a first author paper where he was kind of the puppeteer and was able to speak with some authority on the conception of the work, the significance of the work, the hypothesis that was being tested, and so on, that to me is much more valuable than just turning the crank on one item.
But there could be also red flags too, right? So do you think that, for example, there are many students that we see who applied to our PhD programs who publish reviews, who have a lot of papers which are really difficult to assess in terms of the science quality positively. There's a lot of it going now. And what would you say that does it really help?
Papers. Oh, okay. So there is the publication industry is always, there are always new scientific journals. There are many publishing houses that just publish as many papers as possible to flood the zone, right? there
Exactly.
are,
So when
but I
students take advantage of that, is
do
that a,
people. I don't know
you
if
know,
they are taking advantage of it. I mean, are you as a reviewer of these applications, are you treating a paper published by MDPI in the same vein as you're treating a paper that was published by the Royal Society of Chemistry or the American Physical Society? I doubt
I
it.
do my best to do it, but it really depends on what the is inside, right? So if I see that the abstract says whatever you mixed graphene with another crap, and then you got XYZ out, the best catalyst ever, that's not the type of research that we're looking for. But if it's something about, like, say, the spectroscopy of certain surfaces, and yes, it's published in Catalysis and MDPI for whatever reason, because many students have no control over where it's published, right? It comes from their advisors anyway. So that might be fine still. So
Well, you have to look
I
at the
yeah.
paper, right? Is there
Yeah. Of course, you have to
is
read it.
is the scientific method actually being followed in the paper? And
Sure.
it doesn't mean that a paper in a publishing house that publishes 1,000 journals just so that they can drive up clicks, right? A lot of publishing houses are doing that, and predatory and coercive citation and especially bad peer review practices. There can still be good work published in those places. Like, you don't want to knock the you don't want to be prejudiced against the work because of where it appears,
Absolutely.
but the
Absolutely.
but the probability that the random paper in sensors and actuators, I'll even pick a one from a reputable source, like the random paper that ends up in Sensors and Actuators B could have been a paper in Nature Nanotechnology. Not likely, right? And
Not
so
today.
the but if there are reasons to look at that application, like they have a good they had 10 papers in a some predatory journal. If there are things that are green flags to look at in those applications, that and you're really considering that person, then click on the links and see if the scientific method is being followed, if there is evidence of creativity in that work, and you balance it against the rest of the application package. And so a lot of what we are doing, because we can't take a year to review all applications, because we could read every word in every application. We could read every word of every paper on the person's CV, but it would take forever. That's all we would ever do. One time I went to the dermatologist because I had like a mole on my torso, and he said, if we removed moles like that from every person who came in here, that's all this hospital complex would ever do. So that's why we ask for a diverse range of application materials.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, you introduced the topic, like, there are journals that are just paper mills. There are labs that are paper mills that publish 200 papers a year. What are the odds that there's much quality control happening there? And what are the odds that it's just that those labs are just that work is being siphoned off because of internal incentive structures at that person's institution to produce all of this stuff? What are the odds that it's good? I don't know. Maybe the odds are high, but they're but probably not. Because I don't want to be so elite, right? I don't want to come off as so elite to say that all science in predatory journals is bad, because it's definitely not. You got to publish somewhere. I would say that papers coming out of huge labs at top 5 schools, the quality control on those papers is often lacking. Reason being, when a paper comes out of a lab like mine, I'll just speak to my own experience. The PI, the person with the most experience in writing, in evaluating hypotheses, in experimental design and data analysis, spends a lot of time on those papers, even with the best students. And it is not uncommon for me, for example, in our most recent paper in science robotics, I spent many weekends in a row, many evenings with a fine-tooth comb going through every single piece of those data. When I was in huge labs at Harvard and Stanford, the PI definitely did not do that. And if you're publishing a paper every 10 days, you can't do that. If you have a laboratory budget of $5 million that you need to maintain with grant funding, it is impossible. And so it goes the other way too. Some of those papers get into really high, glamour journals because there's a good infrastructure in the lab for making figures that are like professional quality. The students, tend to be good, but they're still quite inexperienced. And also people click the papers that came from famous labs at top 5 schools.